Welcome. Today we're doing a deep dive into an event etched in memory. December 21st, 1988. Pan Am Flight 103 over Lockerbie, Scotland, just 4 days before Christmas.
A truly horrific event. Still one of the deadliest terrorist attacks, certainly against the U.S. and U.K.
270 lives lost in total, 259 on the plane, the Clipper made of the seas, and tragically, 11 people on the ground in Lockerbie itself.
Yeah.
Our mission today is to unpack the incredibly long hunt for justice. It's been over 3 decades.
It really has.
We'll look at the massive forensic investigation, the very controversial verdict, and where things stand now with this ongoing focus on a third man.
It's like navigating a maze, honestly. Geopolitically complex, forensically unprecedented.
Unprecedented how?
Well, think about the crime scene. The plane broke up at 31,000 feet. The wreckage covered, 845 square miles?
Wow.
Investigators literally had to piece the Boeing 747 back together like a giant, grim jigsaw puzzle just to find the starting point.
Let's dig into that investigation. The focus was hard evidence, not just claims. How did they even start?
They were meticulous. Rebuilding the fuselage showed the blast definitely happened at altitude. Catastrophic decompression.
And they pinpointed the origin.
Yes, down to a specific luggage container, AVE 4041, that held the bomb.
Okay, so the golden clues. Initially, suspicion fell elsewhere, didn't it? Iran, maybe retaliation for Iran Air 655. There were similar bombs found, right?
Exactly. The PFLP-GC group, linked to Iran, had been caught with Semtex bombs hidden in Toshiba bomb beat radios. Very similar.
But the physical evidence from Lockerbie pointed somewhere else entirely. What was it?
It was tiny, almost microscopic, but decisive. Yes, the bomb was Semtex inside a Toshiba radio cassette player packed in a Samsonite suitcase. But the absolute smoking gun was a fragment, a minute piece of circuit board from an electronic timer, an MST13 timer.
And that specific timer?
It was found embedded in a shred of clothing, a shirt, a Slalom brand shirt traced back to a shop in Malta. And critically, that MST13 timer was traced exclusively to one Swiss manufacturer, Mebo AG.
And Mebo confirmed.
They confirmed supplying a batch of just 20 of these timers directly to the Libyan Jamahiriya Security Organization, the JSO.
So that one tiny fragment pivoted the entire investigation towards Libya and Colonel Gaddafi.
Instantly. It became a huge international standoff.
Which led to years of tension, UN sanctions, because Gaddafi wouldn't extradite the suspect.
Yeah, a real deadline.
Until that very unique compromise, the trial at Camp Zeist in the Netherlands. A Scottish court, Scots law, but on neutral ground.
And crucially, decided by 3 judges, no jury.
So the verdict comes in January 2001. What happened?
Well, this is where it gets legally fascinating.
Yeah.
And problematic. One Libyan, Abdelbasit al-Megrahi, a JSO officer, was convicted. Guilty on 270 counts of murder.
Okay.
But his alleged accomplice, Alamin Khalifa Fima, the Libyan Arab Airlines station manager in Malta, was acquitted, found not guilty.
Wait, how does that work? If Fima was acquitted, didn't that destroy the prosecution's whole theory of how the bomb got on the plane from Malta?
Precisely. That's the contradiction. Acquitting Fima basically rejected the entire route the bomb supposedly took.
So Megrahi's conviction relied heavily on...
Largely on the identification by the Maltese shopkeeper, Tony Gauci, who sold the clothes packed with the bomb. But his testimony was, widely seen as flawed and potentially unreliable.
So a conviction, but the mechanics of the crime, according to the court's own verdict, didn't make sense.
Exactly. A logical inconsistency right at the heart of the verdict.
And the story didn't end there. Libya eventually paid billions, $2.7 billion in 2003 to get sanctions lifted.
A political deal, essentially.
And then Megrahi himself was released in 2009. Compassionate grounds, they said. Prognosis was 3 months to live?
Which turned out to be wildly inaccurate. He lived for almost 3 more years. It caused a huge political storm, particularly in the U.S. and U.K.
Then years later, after Gaddafi's fall, things shifted again. December 2020, the U.S. announces charges against a third man.
Abu Aguila Mohammed Massoud, allegedly the bomb maker himself. He was extradited from Libya, actually, in 2022, and is now awaiting trial in the U.S., projected for 2026, I believe.
So why is this Massoud charge such a big deal now?
Because of what he allegedly confessed to back in 2012 after Gaddafi fell. Reports suggest he admitted building the bomb, setting the 11-hour timer, and, crucially, meeting with both Megrahi, the convicted man, and Fima, the acquitted man, in Malta before the flight.
So his alleged confession directly addresses that contradiction from the Camp Zeiss trial?
It potentially resolves it, yes. This new U.S. trial is essentially trying to prove the original Malta connection was right all along. It's, in a way, rejecting the implications of Fiuma's acquittal.
So for the families, after decades of uncertainty, flawed justice, political maneuvering, this is another chapter, maybe the final one.
It's certainly the latest attempt to establish a definitive account, focusing squarely on the Libyan plot narrative.
It's been an incredibly long road for them.
Absolutely. Full of twists and turns and, frankly, deep frustrations.
So as we wrap up, the focus now is firmly on Masood and the alleged Libyan conspiracy.
Yes, the upcoming trial aims to solidify that narrative. But maybe a final thought for you, the listener, to consider. Remember that initial investigation, Operation Autumn Leaves, looking into the PFL-PGC, the Iran connection, the Toshiba radio bombs. That evidence was compelling at the time.
Right.
Does the intense focus now solely on Libya, driven perhaps by Masood's alleged confession and earlier political shifts, mean we might still be missing part of a more complex picture? Was the investigation diverted too early, perhaps for reasons of political expediency back in the early 90s?
Something to think about. The quest for the complete truth in the Lockerbie bombing continues, even now.